What is up, Facebook? How you cool cobras doing this fine evening? So, as usual, fuck the trolls because my wands have sold out. Yes. What is up, fellow YouTubers? How you cool cobras doing this fine evening? Fuck the trolls, my wands have sold out. That makes me feel good about what I'm doing. Yeah. Now, I might get more money doing YouTube live and more subscribers, but, I also deal with a lot of assholes, and tonight was definitely no exception to last night, you choose to be a public figure, you choose to get bullied. No one truly deserves it, but there you go. It's going to happen whether you like it or not. And I did a live video eating an entire jar thing of sour ass candy, and that was nuts. People are seeing that, they're seeing the guitar playing, they're seeing the ventriloquism, they're like, what in the f is this? And there were times I didn't know what to rap about because I'm like, on the spot. Thank you for that, Kim Jean. Appreciate it. I'm hanging in there, Nana Archer. Thank you for asking. Are warheads more sour? No. That candy has some sour bite to it. I'm not going to lie. That was a touch bit more sour than warheads. But that is good. I make the wand in 4 days. I make the batch of wands in 4 days and sell them in 3 days flat. You can't complain about that. No, you can't. Within a week, they've been made and sold. That's most definitely what's up. Yeah. And the trolls think they're being clever. But really, they're not. They're just. All right. So I've made practically almost $300 selling wands. That's not too bad. It didn't take me that long to make. So I'm going to get some food for my apartment. I'm definitely thinking about getting another reel of copper so I can continue to make the copper handles, because that's a nice touch. Yeah. Ampers. And if I'm going to do glow-in-the-dark wands, I need to get a proper can of white spray paint. The one I have is fuckered. Oh, I've already done a pizza challenge. That one time I ate an entire Domino's pizza in one sitting. That was nuts. I didn't mean to poop on camera. That was kind of gross, but yeah. People still watched it. Yeah. And obviously shipping the wands come first before I do anything else. So I'll have to get to tubing them up before I do anything else. And you know what I'm saying? You gotta get them shipped out before you do anything else. So before I go about town buying supplies and what have you, gotta make sure that they're shipped out. Yeah. That's how you keep the business afloat. That's how you make the customers happy. Because one day they open up the mail and holy shit, it arrived. And then just, yeah. When people said you'd never make a living selling wands, well, it's a small living, but it's better than nothing. I'm humble about it, of course, and the success has been phenomenal, and I greatly appreciate it. And there's obviously a testimonial to a Cobra Craft handmade wand, otherwise they wouldn't be selling out so quickly. I have no control over what my trolls do. I only control how I react to them. And just like earlier on YouTube Live, they were trolling me with some bullshit, just like they normally do. And I didn't overreact or get angry or upset. The lengths in which people go to harass me is unreal. I ask myself, why? Because I've influenced them in some way, shape, or form, and they just can't accept it. And it's a well-known fact that if you have haters, then you're famous. That being said, I can pull an Emperor Palpatine from Star Wars. Good, good, good. Give in to your hatred. Yeah, your hatred's only going to make me more fucking famous, so, Some punk ass calling my phone saying, I'm going to steal your bike. And I'm like, go ahead and try it, motherfucker. See what happens. Or after I get done kicking your ass and slamming your head against the curb so you choke on your fucking teeth, then I'll have the cops calling on you for attempted thievery and harassing somebody with autism. And they won't see what happens. You know what I'm saying? I've about had it with people's shit. And I'm not asking too much here. I try to be a nice person. But when people are rude to me, trust and believe I'm going to be rude right back to them because they're telling me they want me to treat them like shit. They treated me like shit. They're saying, please treat me like shit. So I'm like, all right. Treat others the way you want to be treated. If you treat people like crap, you're going to get treated like crap. And that's just the truth. I don't discriminate when it comes to gender to that rule either. But this is the unfortunate reality of it. Whenever I've had a female that was rude to me, I was rude right back. And then word gets around town, oh, he's an asshole to women. Like, no, not necessarily. I respect women. They respect me, I respect them. Simple as that. And I genuinely do respect women, but that's just the thing of it, because of the way I'm dressed. It's just a cliche, you know. Oh, look at that creepy autistic male, blah, 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 you know. But I'm riding my bike down the street one day on the sidewalk to my friend's house, having a dip of chewing tobacco, minding my own business. And of course, I had to spit, being as I was chewing Red Man. I spit, and it landed near the street. And some chick just starts yelling and hollering, and I thought she was yelling at somebody else, so I wasn't paying too much attention to it. And then I kept on riding on the sidewalk. She pulls up next to me and calls me an inconsiderate motherfucker and says I'm a disgusting fucking piece of shit for chewing. And then as she's about to drive off, I'm like, you know what's more disgusting? The way women are treated. And for her rudeness, I was rude right back. I called her a dirty name and I flipped her off. You want to be rude to me, I'll be rude to you. Now, that's the thing of it. If you don't like chewing, you think it's gross, that's your opinion, but it doesn't give you the right to randomly start harassing somebody. If anything, her yelling at me is just as obnoxious as me spitting on the sidewalk or on the street, you know, the way I look at it. And I don't even chew that often. You know, I'm more of a smoker. And then we flash forward like to a day and a half later. Me and a homie are going to a gas station, and I'm sitting on a crosswalk on my bike waiting for the light to change. It wasn't changing as quickly as I'd liked it to, and people were waiting patiently. So I'm like, all right, that's cool. I cross the street. I get off my bike with my wand in my pocket and light a cigarette. But as soon as homeboy gets to the same crosswalk, the light instantly turns to walk. He made comment of it, and he's like, were you using your wand on this crosswalk sign? I'm like, what, this wand? And I pulled it out of my pocket, and I said, yeah, sure was. And then I went like this and put it back in my pocket. And then this chick comes up to me, and she goes, what are you waving in your hand? And I'm like, oh, what, this? This is a wand. I make and sell them on Etsy. Well, you can't be doing that. Why not? There are customers here, and you can't be doing that. You're riding your bike. Who cares? I care. I'm like, do you own these loafing jugs? And she goes, no, I run them. And I'm like, freedom of fucking religion. I then added the point of Christians and Mormons are allowed to walk around town, Bible thumping the crap out of people to the point where it's annoying. But the minute I walk around town with a wand, everyone has a problem with it because it's different. It's not normal. You know, this is just the kind of persecution that people of the left-hand path have been receiving for thousands of years. You know, people who practice magic are oppressed because it's different. It's not seen as normal. But do you see me complaining about it? Fuck no, because I'm not the only one who gets fucked with because of their religious beliefs. So for me to complain about it would be unfair. For me to complain about how oppressed my religion is because my pagan ancestors were burned at the stake and what have you, you know, it's unfair because every religion minus Christianity has been fucked with or treated like shit, you know. And that's the unfortunate reality of it. I then told her to leave me alone. I have Asperger's. And she's like, I'm sorry, but you have to leave. I'm like, no, I don't. I'm not harming anybody. I'm just standing here waiting for my friend to get out of the store. Keep in mind that 3 of her customers that went in were like, that dude has a cool bike. And the cashier behind the counter, she was like, right? So I'm like, including my homies, that's 4 paying customers of yours complimenting my bike. If anything, I'm encouraging people to go to your Loaf and Jug because they're like, hey, that bike's cool. You know, it's adding some scenery to the, you know what I'm saying? And right after I told this lady I have Asperger's, she's like, oh, I'm sorry, but she kept on flapping her jaw. And then at this point, Alex Anderson comes out of the store and he's like, he heard what was going down. And we both asked her nicely to please leave me alone. And then she told him, you can leave too. Because she was being a rude ass bitch. Like, you know what? And I feel sorry for her, to be honest. She wasted half her life working at Loaf and Jug. And that's all she knows. So just to get her kicks off, let's pick on somebody who's different. Not because of those 2 incidences and because of how small Casper is. I'm walking my bike home because the chain popped off, and I'm like, well, ain't that a bitch? But that's life. And overheard some people talking, and they were just like, oh, there's a rumor going around town that he's an asshole to women. And I'm like, no, not necessarily. I'm an asshole to people who are assholes to me. Women are constantly bitching about gender equality, but then they think they can just be rude to whoever they want because they're a woman, and no one's not going to say nothing back. And I find myself saying, check your privilege, honey. Male privilege is a myth. Female privilege is not. And not trying to be sexist or nothing, but women have more rights than they've ever had in a long ass time, and they're still unhappy. I don't get it. You know, I can't physically understand it, you know. And then you get these feminazis, these women who victimize themselves and blame men for everything. And it creates this toxic would-be feminist environment. And it brainwashes women and men into thinking this is how feminism is, blah, 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 blah. And it gives feminism a bad name. And it gives men and women a bad name. And it creates one more fucking issue. You know, this is what makes me laugh about the dating scene, you two. A woman can sit there and say she wants a man with a 6-inch dick, a 6 salary figure, who's 6 feet tall. But the second a man says, I like a girl with big boobs or a nice ass or etc., he's a pig, right? So women are totally allowed to date men for their bodies and for their social status and for their income and their money. And just for the sake of saying, look who I have wrapped around my shoulder. But as soon as guys do it for the same reasons, we're the assholes. And I don't, you know, that's the kind of thing that makes me wary about dating, is the hypocrisy of it, you know. You shouldn't chastise someone for liking what they like, as long as what they like isn't, you know, underage. You know? Like, you shouldn't chastise someone for liking black chicks, white chicks, X, Y, and Z, you know? It's a beautiful spectrum out there to date. There's something for everybody, you know? Women out there bitching and complaining because they can't find a man, and I'm just like, oh, that's funny. That is fucking funny. You ever go to a bar and see women buying dudes drinks? Exactly my point. So sometimes you just gotta have some confidence and put yourself out there and don't overthink it. A lot of women think that men care about what color your makeup looks like, X, Y, and Z, too much or too little. Not really, dude. Men are not as complicated as women make us out to be. But you have to remember the negative stereotype that all men want is sex. That's just as bad as the negative stereotype that women have to deal with. They sleep with one dude and they're called a slut. And when you acknowledge gender equality, you have to realize that both sexes put up with bullshit. But something I've noticed is that sometimes being the bigger asshole doesn't make you friends. It just makes a lot of people dislike you even more. And that's because you're being real. They're being mean to you, so you be mean to them. And some people can't handle real, you know. And that's the thing of it. Don't talk to me about being real if you're not afraid to go so far that it hurts. If you're afraid to cross that line of, oh, that's so true, it hurts. And if you're afraid to cross that line, then don't talk to me about how real you are, because you're fake as fuck. And because of all this bullshit, Facebook, it's created it's created a toxic culture. Instead of people using online dating to find meaningful relationships, they're using it to find a free meal ticket to help pay off student loans, just for a one night hookup, stupid shit like that. And the point I would like to make is if you're going to use Tinder for one night hookups, why not just go to a bar? Because you're afraid to show your real self in public. You find the security of hiding behind a computer screen and a keyboard comforting, knowing that the real world can't accept you. And that's what you feel like. Because this is the thing of it, is online dating can be used to find a meaningful relationship. But if people are using it for one night stands or to help pay off student loans, XYZ, if people are using Tinder just to get a free meal ticket, it makes online dating look sleazy. And that's just the truth of it. I don't discriminate against women. If I did, and that's the thing of it too. Maybe I need to learn to be the bigger person and just walk away from people being stupid and harassing me. But sometimes it just gets to a point where you've had enough and you gotta say something. You know, especially when it happens on an almost daily basis. And that's the thing of it. What helped me get over those situations with those people talking shit is I realized, one, I've dealt with bigger assholes on the social media, and two, you know, how sad and insecure are they with their lives if they personally attack somebody for doing nothing more than minding their own business? Well, I want to try to get the wands that were ordered tubed up tomorrow and get them in the mail. That's like the first thing I do with my wand money. before I do anything else. I mean, this is just what I see with the behavior pattern of certain things. Men and women desire each other. It's a natural instinct. However, when the negative stereotype is all men want is sex, and when a female body is overly sexualized, it creates a very toxic environment in which we live in, where you constantly see women posting pictures of their ass on Facebook and on Instagram, begging for approval from others, justifying their shallow personality by saying, "Look how hot I am." And that could just be a cliche. Not every attractive woman you see on social media is like that. And they tend to get attacked by other people on social media, mostly from other jealous girls who wish they could look that good, and they're too insecure with themselves to find what makes them special. They're too focused on other people. And that's no way to live. You always see women comparing themselves to other women and, of course, to men. And you occasionally see men comparing themselves to other men. And that shit just needs to stop. Women need to stop comparing themselves to other women and to men. And men need to stop comparing themselves to other men. And sometimes you just got to be happy with what you got. Make the best of what you got, because life ain't exactly peaches and cream. It'd be nice if it was, but yeah. Life will chew you up like a wad of chew and spit you out before you could say, "Oh shit." So you gotta keep your wits about you. And sometimes Facebook, you just gotta pick your battles. I mean, I'll admit sometimes I'm bad on that, but in my defense, I get bullied on social media all the time, and it's gotten to the point where I respond to the haters on social media by being a bigger asshole, and which works for social media, but in real life, it doesn't get you any friends. People just think you're a huge asshole. But you can't let bullies or assholes get to you. Because as soon as you do, then they win. And if you want to have the upper hand when it comes to these shit-talking motherfuckers, you can't let their shit make you overreact. And believe me, they will do things, and they will do things to push you to your limit, to your absolute core. They will test every fiber in your body just for a quick laugh, just so they can say, "Ha, I got you." Haters don't give a shit how fair it is, because they're suffering. They're sad, miserable individuals who are suffering. And This is how they make themselves happy, by making people just as miserable as they are. So really you have two options. You can ignore them or you can respond. And how you respond is totally up to you. Ignoring them doesn't always work. I wish it did. Sometimes you gotta fight back. But when you fight back, doing so in a way that doesn't make you look bad, and it makes them look even worse because you kept your shit together, you know. For an example, if someone makes a video on YouTube, calling me a retard and every other name in the book, and this and that, you know, and if I make a video responding to that person, getting angry and cussing them out, people are going to see that, oh, that person got to him, you know. But if I make a video responding, just being like, yeah, whatever, dude, that's your opinion, not mine. They're going to look at that and go, huh, that guy lost. He tried trolling Gothic King Cobra and he lost. Hey, Carla, what's up? You know, I'm not a charity case. I'm not going to beg for shit. You know? And it sucks when you order something and then you go to swipe your card and, oh, money's not on there. Shit. Oh. I saw your second comment, threes, than your first one. A3s, if you got a bully at work, then bring it to your supervisor because there's no need for that. And if it's a supervisor that's bullying you, then I would keep that job while looking for another one. As soon as you get a better job, quit the one you're at because you don't need that. And that is unfortunately something that's going to happen when you decide to pursue a career. You're going to encounter people that bully you at work. And it's sad when they do it, but Three Saxton writes, me and my cousin were talking about how cool it would be if you were on a Bachelor type show with goth girls. Aw. Appreciate that y'all care, but I'm not worried about it right now, man. It'll happen when it happens, you know. When you haven't had it in a year and 5 months, at this point, there's no sense in getting all worked up about when's it gonna happen, because it goes by like that, you know, in the blink of an eye. Time is but a concept. And some things are worth the wait. It's kind of like waiting for a pizza when you order it. You know, it doesn't just happen right away. There's process. You gotta pay for it, you gotta order it, and you gotta wait. Chris Hubble writes, you are an inspiration for following your dreams, Josh. You get to make wands for a living and you love doing it. Well, yeah, that is pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie, but a lot of people in town will not hire me just because of the reputation I've built as a public figure for being bullied and trolled. People would call places that I'd work at and harass me at work, harass my managers, and you know. And if I can make a living on my own, making my own money, then that's a better option. That way, I can control my schedule, and also that way, businesses here in town are not getting harassed. That's not fair to me, but it's definitely not fair to them. Amen to that, Chris Hubble. Getting laid is like ordering a pizza. It takes patience and it's worth the wait. Yeah. And what happens when you rush a pizza? It doesn't look as good. The cut looks sloppy. If you undercook it, it's not done. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, pretty much, Chris Hubble. Now they can't call your manager because you are the manager. Exactly. Hmm. Sam Knowing writes, Josh, IDK if you saw my comment, but are there any spells for pain? I'm going to have to get surgery soon and I'm worried. Well, Sam Knowing, the best thing you can do if you're getting surgery is not to worry about it and relax. Try to have a positive outlook on it and know that recovery from your surgery may not be pleasant. But once you reach that point in the road when your surgery is done and you're recovered, you'll be a stronger person for it. A circle of protection works universally on most things. So place a circle of protection around yourself for your surgery and you should be fine. To answer your question about spells, oh, I'm not getting surgery, Lucas. No, one of my fans is. Yeah, thank you for your concern though. No, I'm fine, but one of my YouTube fans is getting surgery, so yeah. They were asking for some advice. Well, anyways, Facebook, I'm gonna skedaddle, check the mailbox, and I'm gonna be tired for the evening because it's getting late. And tomorrow I got stuff to do.